Hon Rauff Hakeem, Honorable Deputy Speaker, this House is moving this motion today to pay our tribute to one of the most influential world leaders who shaped the history of many nations in the second half of the 20th century. Comrade Fidel Castro was such a charismatic, revolutionary leader that his brand of revolution was exported to many countries. His ascent to office in 1959 and thereafter had resulted immediately in many countries resorting to radical approaches towards nation building. His inspiration was such that his struggle was taken as an example to change and fight dictatorial regimes and change world order in many parts and many continents, be it Nicaragua, be it Angola, be it Vietnam, be it Algeria. Many countries shaped their ideology based on his leadership and his example. We must say that we have lost a very charismatic and idealistic, iconic leader of the last century. He also was a close friend of the Palestinian people. His inspiration was such that the Palestinian struggle was further boosted by the courage given to the oppressed people. In the entire second half of the 20th century, all of us nations which has suffered under long periods of colonialism took inspiration from leaders such as Castro. As a matter of fact, except for his silence on the Soviet invasion of Afghanistan, in the rest of the Islamic world, he was revered. It was understandable that he kept silent on the Russian invasion of Afghanistan since he was an ally of Russia. But then, though he was seen as an ally of Russia, during the period of Cold War, he was seen as an iconic leader in the non-aligned movement. His inspiration among the non-aligned leaders was such that his presence and his stature and his charisma prevailed on many leaders, and his leaders and others, party strongmen, would seek to visit him and seek his audience and his advice. And today we feel that his ideology, his revolutionary zeal, his leadership theories had influenced many leaders all around the world. The adversity imposed on Cuba by a long and arduous embargo by imperialists in the neighborhood did not deter his determination to rise above all these adversities and provide that nation with one of the best literacy rates in that part of the world. So much so that, as many speakers before me mentioned, child mortality rates was lowered to such enviable levels in Cuba, and it's maintained up to date. And there are achievements in educational sphere as well as international sports arena. Cuba had reached such heights that it became the envy of many nations. It is with a heavy heart that we join other leaders in this House to pay homage to one of the outstanding figures of the latter half of the 20th century who had influenced many nations and many revolutionary movements. Okay. Thank you, Mr. Deputy Speaker.